Whoa!
Dogman, the canine cryptid that we've all come to know and fear. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Brookestirr Watches. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 3 Dogman sightings from North Carolina. Yes, my home state. Woo! Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I do upload these videos very often. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a walk into the forest. Okay guys, so this one right here is by Lilith Dread, and it's called Horrifying Footage from the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. That's where I'm from. So let's go ahead and check it out. Make sure you go give Lilith a like, okay? This video, subscribe, do all that good stuff that good wolves do. Pause up, hit the like button.
This encounter was sent in by John and Stephanie from North Carolina.
Okay.
It takes place in Owl Creek, in the far western region of North Carolina in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Okay.
The surrounding topography consists of both mountains and tall peaks, as well as gently rolling hills. At the time of the encounter, they'd been camping in this area yearly for nearly 5 years. After years of keeping their story quiet and sharing it with very few people, they've decided to share it and their footage with us.
Footage? We always like footage.
Stephanie and John had been married about a year when the encounter happened, although they had dated for close to 7 years before getting married. Both were currently working as teachers, but at different schools in the same district. Each of them had a close friend at their respective school, and together Stephanie and John thought that those 2 friends would be a great fit for each other. In fact, they'd been trying desperately to get the 2 of them together, thinking it would be fun if they could all hang out.
Oh, yeah.
But after months of trying to get them all together on double dates or other outings, they finally decided to give up. Timing just hadn't been on their side.
Ain't that it?
But then came summertime, and Stephanie had a great idea. School was out, and so she suggested to John that the 4 of them go camping for the weekend. John agreed that it would be a great opportunity for them all to spend some time together without the distraction of other things. So they invited their 2 friends, Brad and Emily, along with them on their yearly camping trip. As luck would have it, they were both free and excited to join. So plans were made for the foursome to head off in June to the mountains of North Carolina. June finally came, and they all headed out. The first night, they ate around the campfire and shared stories.
What did they eat?
It was an instant success. Brad and Emily hit it off and were getting along great. They even seemed to be comfortable sitting next to each other and helping each other out at the campfire, making food.
Okay.
Talk was easy and relaxed, and at one point they were all even attempting to scare each other with creepy stories about creatures in the woods. Bigfoot, werewolf, all the usual creatures. Of course, no one believed the stories, but they all still agreed that it was hard to not look over your shoulder at the slightest sound, now that these thoughts were in their minds.
Oh, yeah.
They had all become just a bit jumpy at this point. After some time, they all enjoyed a quick camping dinner of skillet chicken and potatoes before Brad suggested they walk a bit through the woods to work off the food to get it moving along inside of them, he said. So after dinner, they all decided to walk a bit.
Maybe.
But as they were walking, Emily began to hear strange noises. At first, she told herself it couldn't be real, and her mind was still stuck on the creepy stories from earlier. Plus, she would later say she didn't want to look like the odd one out by saying anything out loud to anyone, so she just kept her mouth shut. She told herself that the noises were just some normal sounds of the animals in the woods, but then the noises became louder and more human-like. And at that point, the noises became unmistakable. And unmistakably weird. You couldn't ignore them, and that's when all four of them stopped and looked at each other. They were all totally freaked out by the strange sounds. Stephanie said that it was obvious how they each felt by the looks on their faces. And then John, who knew the area a bit from his past trips here with Stephanie, shone his flashlight in the direction of the noise, but saw nothing. Yet at the same time, Emily jumped as she thought she saw the reflection of eyes looking back at them. But then as fast as she saw them,
That's not the
they went
footage.
away.
It says footage and a video.
Even though only Emily thought she saw something, they all later said that they had the same feeling that something seemed to be getting closer to them. After a few minutes of looking around, John suggested they go back, and that's when he told everyone he planned to set up his trail cam, so that if anything did materialize, he would have it on camera, and they would at least know what they had been hearing, even if they were asleep.
Right?
The group then went back together to the campsite to set up the trail cam. However, when they got back to the site and looked around, they said it strangely felt like things around the campsite had been moved. Nothing was really obvious, but for example, Stephanie thought she had left her backpack in a different location than she found it, and John was sure he had opened a beer, but he could only find cans that hadn't been opened. This only served to add to the feeling that something was out there with them and made them all a little bit more on edge.
Someone took my beer can.
So after John set up the trail cam, everyone decided to get some sleep.
It's like,
John and
it's like they
Stephanie
were
were
cleaning up the area or something. Moved her bag, cleaned up the beer can. I don't know.
Together in their tent, and Brad and Emily each had their own individual tents. Later that night, as Emily was laying in her tent trying to get to sleep, she heard a branch snap nearby. It seemed like a larger branch, but she figured it was just one of the other campers walking to the bathroom or something. But then she heard another strange noise, and this time it sounded like it was right outside her tent. She sat up to look, slightly unzippered her tent slowly as to not make any noise, and there, standing in front of her tent, but on the other side of the campfire, was a large, dark, furry creature, looking right at her. She immediately screamed, which alerted the others, and they all scrambled out of their tents and over to her. But by the time they got to her tent and listened to what she said, the creature was gone. They all speculated what it could have been, describing normal sounds, the sounds of a bear, a coyote, visions of the same animal, but of course no one could give a definite answer. They didn't see it. At this point, it was about midnight, and they were all jumping at even the slightest noise. But what happened next would shake them to their core.
So they busted out the camera.
As they were all standing there discussing what Emily might have seen and trying to calm her down, they heard a loud hissing from the woods. It almost sounded human. They all immediately went silent, and they realized that there was something out there, and it wasn't just a normal forest animal. John said he was going to go check it out because the noise was just too human to ignore. Brad offered to go with him. The two of them took their flashlights and headed into the woods. After a few minutes of walking, they heard a low, growling noise, but this time it sounded like it was right in front of them, almost so near that they could touch it. They stopped and shined their lights around in a circle, but still couldn't see anything. And just as they were about to give up, John saw what looked like two red eyes shining in the darkness. And then he heard the loudest growl he'd ever heard in his life, coming from whatever creature belonged to those eyes.
Hell no.
And before he could yell out, the creature was rushing towards him. He yelled for Brad, and they both started running back to the camp and towards the girls with the creature following them. The guys both came rushing back into camp, only to see Emily with her phone, trying to film whatever was happening. She had heard them screaming and heard them rushing back. The guys entered the camp with the beast close behind, and when the creature saw that Emily was holding up her phone, it seemed to understand what she was doing and flew into a rage and started chasing after John. John screamed for Emily to stop filming and just run. Get out of the creature's territory. Everyone, just leave everything and run. The guys grabbed the girls and started running. Emily was screaming the whole time, yelling out loud that they were leaving and to just leave them alone. They only made it a few hundred yards before they heard the creature give up the chase, and they stopped too. They all stood there, panting, trying to catch their breath as they realized just how lucky they were that nothing bad had happened to them.
It was just running out of out of their territory.
They could see back to their campsite, and there at the far side, they could see the creature watching them from the woods, in the same location that Emily had originally seen it. It wasn't until then that they were able to get a good look at it and realize just how big it was. It was standing upright. It must have been at least 10 feet tall, with long, furry arms and legs, and those same piercing red eyes. As they stared at the creature, it stared back at them with its bright red eyes before turning and disappearing into the darkness of the woods.
That's creepy.
The four of them then abandoned their things and headed straight back to their cars.
Hell yeah.
Not saying a word to each other the entire way. They all just wanted to get as far away as possible from that place as they could.
Well, I don't blame them.
It wasn't until Emily got home that she found this footage on her phone.
Finally, let's see it.
That's enough! Stop taping! Please stop taping!
Okay, we're leaving right now.
What the hell is that shit?
Subscribe for more content.
What? This next one right here, guys, is by NVTV. And it's called The Scariest Dogman Encounter Captured on Camera. Okay? And yeah, let's go ahead and give it a look. Make sure to pause up on that like button. And yeah, let's go ahead. Scariest video of a dogman attack. I want to see the one with the guy in the old building shooting the dogman was shot while saying his prayers. Where's the video? Well, let's see it then. Here comes a scary video of a man taking down a dogman with his shotgun. He had the mindset to film it on his phone for proof. Make your own decisions on this creepy video.
Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection from the snares and the wickedness of the devil, who by the grace of God you cast into hell. And you, Prince of Heavenly Hosts, shield us from all those creatures and evil spirits that prowl the world for the ruin of souls. Nomine Patri Filii Spiritus Sancti. Let's rock and roll.
He said, let's rock and roll. What the hell was that shit? What? I am just now seeing this? And this was in North Carolina? Whoa. Was that real? It almost looked human. What in the hell? Some viewers think it's a dead wolf or a coyote on a tree, but if you watch closely, you can see its head turned towards the man with the shotgun. Some are saying, why is this dog man wearing a red jacket or shirt? I feel like he was already shot, bleeding all over. No, it looked like it was turning into a dog man or a werewolf. Like, because I seen a human outline in the window first. Let's do this. See, it looks real human. And then it looks like it's like changing, like. Now, this one right here is by WCNC News Channel in North Carolina, and it's called Hickory Man Says He Has a Video of Bigfoot. Now, I do think we have covered this before, but we weren't doing a specific, video on North Carolina. So this one was some really, really good evidence, so I do want to share it with you again.
New tonight at 6, social media is buzzing after a Hickory man says he captured something amazing on his cell phone camera, video of Bigfoot.
Yeah, he recorded this video in McDowell County where several people reported seeing the creature over the years. NBC Charlotte's Brandon Goldner spoke to the man who described his experience.
Now,
despite the signs outside,
they're saying it's a Bigfoot, okay, but I don't know. To me, it looked like a Dogman, but I mean, it could have been a Bigfoot.
Hickory home,
Crazy.
Doug Teague and Crazy Daisy strayed away from the wooded trails in McDowell County. He was grabbing some cameras he had set up, hoping they recorded images of a longtime fascination, Bigfoot. As he was walking back to his truck,
then a rock was through. She chased it. I just kind of stopped, took the phone out, gazed the hill, kept looking.
He's still up here.
Not just one, he says 3 different Bigfoot stared at him from the hill. This is just a snippet of 10 minutes of video Teague says he recorded.
I kind of see like the likeness of a Dogman. Like I see ears and everything. I mean, it could be, but some people say that there are like forms of Bigfoot that look like Dogman and vice versa and stuff like that. But like as I said before in the past video, like these creatures are all different. That's what I believe anyway. I mean, because we're all unique and different, so why can't these cryptids be all unique and different? And even though this is Bigfoot territory, I feel like if there's a cryptid, there's all of them there, maybe, possibly.
He's moving.
Just describe to me that moment, just emotionally, just
like a giddy school kid. Just nervous, heart beating, it was crazy.
He's a member of the Catawba Valley Bigfoot Research Club. McDowell County is considered a hot spot for these sightings, though the path leading to this larger-than-life creature often goes cold. Scientists say there's a logical reason for this. There's no evidence Bigfoot exists. Teague disagrees.
They're real. They're there.
As does Vicky Cook.
It went in front of my camera.
Earlier this summer, she shared this grainy video taken outside her Cleveland County home.
Screamed. I didn't know what it was, but that thing was tall.
With big feet to boot.
Okay,
both
now
Cook
that could
and
have been a
Teague
Bigfoot.
took casts of the creature's feet.
There's probably a lot more evidence than people realize.
That technically last one was Bigfoot, but who's really to know, right? Like, it could have been a Dogman. He could have been with Dogman. He said there was about several of them there, but usually they go in packs. But I don't know. To me, that figure in the back, now not of course the Bigfoot feet were, the tracks were Bigfoot, of course, but like, I don't know, the thing in the bushes, to me, it looked like a jet black Dogman. So, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Well, everyone, what did you think about those 3 scary Dogman sightings from North Carolina? Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure to check out the merch, okay? It's what I'm representing right now. Dogman University, since we're all still learning about Dogman here. Well, some people might be more knowledgeable than I am, so yeah. And do you have a Dogman sighting, werewolf sighting, Bigfoot sighting, just plain old cryptid spooky sighting that you've seen? Email me, tell me your story, I'll share it on here. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next, bye.